In today's video, I'm travelling the seas as I take in Britain's most northerly islands. I'll be using Northlink ferries on their route north from Aberdeen to Shetland, travelling overnight on what is often called Britain's most notoriously unpredictable ferry route. I got quite a surprise on my trip at just how good this ferry really is. We'll take a look at the meals on board, the public areas, the entertainment and the spacious private berth I stayed in. It's fair to say I had a great time on board. Join me as we head on the MV Hrossey from Aberdeen. We'll make a stop in Kirkwall in Orkney along the way and finish up at Lerwick in Shetland. Enjoy the video. I've travelled specially to Aberdeen to take this unique ferry crossing. Unlike many ferries, Northlink provides a decent experience for foot passengers, that's those travelling without a car. This terminal is easy to access and it took just a minute to check in. Today, I've got the privilege of an executive outside berth cabin, which comes with complimentary breakfast, 2 free drinks and lounge access on board. I'll break down all of my costs during the video. Northlink's mascot adorning the Hrossey ferry is Magnus, a Viking symbol of pride and a fitting mascot for this transport link to the Northern Isles. Hrossey is Old Norse for horse and references the ancient name for Orkney, where we will stop en route later this evening. There are 356 berths aboard and space for 140 cars. Well, that is perfect timing. As soon as I checked in, it's time to board. And off we go. I'm really looking forward to this. Good afternoon.
Thank you. It's you been cabin 45 tonight.
Grand, thank you. This way, thank you. Cheers. 425. 426, 425, here we are. This is my executive cabin, which comes with a desk and 2 bed spaces in bunk style fashion. Only the lower bunk is deployed here because it's just me travelling. On top of the ticket price of £25.50, the cabin cost me £120, not a bad price for a moving hotel room. This is also an ensuite cabin with a small shower and toilet. Your shampoo, toiletries and towels are all included. Now you can pay for a premium 2-berth cabin which has the second bed in place of where the desk is in this room, so no crawling into an upper bunk. But for a solo traveller, the executive with the desk is the better choice. One thing I did notice, the Bible actually has its own holder, but hopefully I won't be needing a prayer tonight. Oh, and by the way, if you don't go for a cabin, there is the option of a seat at just £3.50 on top of the ticket, and there is even a communal shower too. So I figured we'd have a look at the shipping forecast because this has got a reputation for being a very rough crossing. We're going through the Cromarty area first. That doesn't look too bad. Sea state slow or moderate, I think we can live with that. And now we're looking for Fair Isle, I think. It's the second shipping area that we go through. Where is it? Here we are, Fair Isle. Also slight or moderate. So, fingers crossed, I think it's going to be a good crossing. We depart at 5 PM sharp, and among the people waving us off, some special visitors come to say hello. It'll take us 12.5 hours to reach Shetland. Today's video is sponsored by Surfshark VPN, an award-winning virtual private network. Now, there are loads of great reasons to use a VPN like Surfshark, from leveraging lower prices online to improving your online security. Surfshark is part of my travel arsenal because it helps me bounce my device's location to wherever suits me, and there are a load of great things you can do with that functionality, but we don't have time for all of those. Here's just one example. It's really frustrating when I'm in the UK and I want to look at a cool or fun news story I've seen on Twitter, or X as it's called these days. But whoa, this site is from the USA and doesn't comply with the European GDPR. That's really annoying, but a quick flick of the switch to a US location and hey presto, the content is unblocked and I can read it. The reverse actually applies to sites like BBC iPlayer. If I'm not in the UK and I'm abroad, like I am here filming this in Tenerife, it can be hard to get content to work because of licensing issues. But again, set my location as inside the UK, and there we go. I can now browse away happily and watch whatever it was I wanted to see. Surfshark is an incredible tool, a real Swiss Army knife, and it's available to you at a very special deal. Secure your privacy with Surfshark. Enter coupon code WINGINIT at surfshark.com/WINGINIT for 4 extra months for free of Surfshark VPN. One thing that really struck me about this ferry: this is supposed to be an essential transport link. Indeed, it's the only way to get your car to Shetland using Northlink. But the public areas are actually very nice, and the whole operation has the feel of being a lot better than it really needs to be. And that's nice. One of my first orders of business is to get an early dinner. The menu is pretty substantial and reasonably priced, and there are a range of hot and cold options. Now, I actually prepaid £18.47 for a 3-course dinner, and you can't say fairer than that. I went for the fish and chips with an iron brew, so I figured I'd have the local delicacies.
Well, I've got to say, all the food looks pretty good considering there's just one restaurant on here and it's a captive market. Let's just see what it tastes like.
For about £18, I have to say, dinner was great value, and it's time to see more of the ship. All of the public areas are on the same deck. There's a shop which sells snacks and souvenirs, and a decent bar with commanding views out of the front of the ship. There's also a cafe, and right in the middle of the ship is Magnus's Lounge. This is complimentary with the executive cabin, but otherwise costs £20 to enter. It's nice enough, but I'm not sure I paid £20 for it, because the rest of the ship is actually rather nice. There are freebies of coffee, tea and soft drinks, but no alcohol. And in case you doubted me when I said this crossing could be rough,
If you have a look at these tables and chairs, you can see they're actually chained to the floor.
if you fancy some entertainment, there's even a small cinema on board. Or if you fancy, there's a coin-operated arcade. But I decided to connect to the Wi-Fi myself, which is, astonishingly, free.
Well, would you believe it? It's a lot warmer than it looks out here. It is pretty grim and grey, but it's the middle of summer almost. We're just a few weeks away from the summer solstice, and despite that overcast cloud, it's 9 PM, and you can see as we're heading towards Orkney, there is actually some sunshine.
This trip is taking me further north than the most southerly tip of Greenland, and in the middle of summer, it stays light really late. Wow. We draw into Kirkwall on Orkney, bang on time at 11 p.m. The ferry empties out a lot here, and there's suddenly a different vibe.
It's 11 p.m. and we're due into Shetland in about 8 hours, so it's time for me to head to bed and get 40 winks. I've just filled us leave port now. We're off to Shetland, and in about 7.5 hours time we'll be at the very north end of the United Kingdom. Good night.
It's just gone 6 a.m, bright and early, and we're making good progress towards Lerwick. I get a complimentary cold breakfast in Magnus's Lounge, and then it's straight up on deck for the final push. Well, nothing beats coming up on deck first thing in the morning. What a beautiful day to be arriving into Shetland. We slip into Lerwick on this bright summer morning, and it really does feel a world apart. The buildings feel Norse, the sun is so incredibly bright, so far north, and I'm reminded I'm about 900 kilometres from home, and we're closer to Oslo in Norway than we are to London. I have one final bit of business to take care of after I disembark though, and that involves a car. My aim is for the far north, a stunning drive involving a further 2 ferries across the mainland of Shetland, the Isle of Yell, and to the most northerly of the major Shetland islands, Unst. Finally, after another 4 hours of travel since leaving the ferry, it's in sight, Muckle Flugga. This tiny island and lighthouse is normally inaccessible, but laying eyes on the very northernmost tip of my country is something very few Brits have done, and it's been a very satisfying trip. Thank you so much to Surfshark. Secure your privacy with Surfshark. Enter coupon code WINGINIT at surfshark.com/WINGINIT for 4 extra months for free. And join me next time on Shetland for a unique and spectacular flight to Britain's most remote island, Fair Isle. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you then. Bye for now.